Basically, Artis, what the state health plan staff are proposing to the Board of Trustees is that they eliminate the enhanced PPO 80/20, which is the plan that most active state employees take and most early retirees take. That's the option they select. And they're going to force state employees to take one of two remaining options. One is the PPO 70/30, which is not actually a 70/30 plan. It's a 60/40 plan if you look at federal government requirements, or a high deductible consumer directed health plan that only 5% of the members have opted to take. These proposals are going to make the state health plan the worst state health plan in the United States of America. And every taxpayer, every citizen ought to be outraged, not just state employees and not just state health plan members. We can keep on doing the same old that we've been doing. You've seen proposals to further erode the benefits. You can vote for that. You can adopt those proposals. And you're violating your bylaws and your fiduciary responsibility as outlined in those bylaws to operate this plan for the benefit of the members and their beneficiaries, solely for their benefit. Solely for their benefit.
As you know, we put forth some proposals, and we appreciate all of the feedback we have gotten. I know all the board has been receiving a lot of emails and calls, and that has been very helpful. And we will go through a series of those options, but just to be clear today, so we are only voting on 2017. We are not voting on anything about spousal coverage. That is not on the table. We are not voting on elimination of the 80/20. That is also off the table, and I would say that's probably more on a permanent basis. That's not going to come back, and this board now is tasked of how to work within that financials with a new set of options. And we do have some board votes today that will be important to take today.
We're here, as far as we see it, because in February there was an attempt to shove through a plan that didn't have answers, a plan to address the sufficient measures clause in the budget we've all been talking about today. This board, in its wisdom, didn't adopt that plan and instead was going to get more answers from the legislature as to what sufficient measures meant. To date, we've just been told there has been no clear answer as to what the legislative intent of that clause, sufficient measures, meant. We don't see how you could do anything more today than you could have done in February and do it in good conscience. With all due respect to the governor's budget, taking $71 million from reserves because an undefined goal has been unmet is completely unrealistic. It's wrong, and you should not do that to state employees and retirees.
We need retirees to let the legislators know that they want a choice. They want to have the choice of
Absolutely right.
payroll deduction. They want to have the choice of insurance products that they will not be dictated to.
Right.
And it'll also be a really good day. Rumors are that the Senate is going to drop their budget next week. So if you come down and join us for the meeting on Tuesday morning, you can make some visits to your senators and talk to them about the budget coming up.
And the first thing I want to do is thank our members. We asked you for help to support SEANC because there was a bill, House Bill 1134. It was up in pensions and retirement first thing Tuesday morning of this week. And that bill would have taken the right of all retirees to have payroll deduction for SEANC, for your insurance policies, for your ability to participate in the political process. It was a horrible bill. And we want to thank our members. You showed up, you packed the committee room, you packed the hallway, you got the job done. Representative Pat Hurley is another person we want to thank. She ran an amendment to give the retirees their right to payroll deduction back, and it passed unanimously in that Pensions and Retirement Committee.
When we got the call that they wanted to stop the payroll deduction of our dues and our health care, our insurance premiums, those type of things, then we wanted to get the retirees aid. So that's what we do on the retiree council, is monitor all these things about the health plan and anything that affects a retiree. So that's what our job is, to lobby for the benefits. So we had a great turnout, I think, this morning with the retirees coming to. We're so glad that we defeated and had it changed that it would continue.
What do you think, Ross? What is important?
We had 2 victories today, and
Yeah.
it's time that state employees got a victory, and especially retirees. It was great that we defeated we're trying to up the eligible age for retirement. That was defeated. And then the deduction of dues, that was defeated. They left it like it was.
Yeah.
Good day for retirees and state employees.
Well, you guys.
Yeah, and I know your folks have been told that by the Treasurer's Office that this would create something like a $700 million liability. That is really only true if the legislator does not do their part for the next 12 years. So if the legislator will step up and do the right thing, which they have not done. Retirees here, I'm a new retiree. There's some of these folks who have been retired for years, have lost 10% to the cost of living, 10.5% over the last 6 years, because 2% in COLAs over 6 years is insane, and active employees haven't done a whole lot better.
We are having to go out and get part-time jobs in order to pay our bills and things like that, when we've given our time to the state. And now we are at the age where we should be able to sit back and reap some of those benefits that we put out there, and we're not getting it. We shouldn't have to go out at 70 years old and find a job to support ourselves.
So Mark Dearman, a member of SEANC and recent retiree from state government, did a video in front of the governor's mansion this morning saying, we need you to call the governor. Here's why.
And the budget has been in conference for the past 2 weeks, and yet the main sticking point, once again, is state employee raises and retiree COLAs. The House budget included a 2% raise for state employees as well as a $500 bonus, and a 1.6% COLA for retirees. The Senate budget contains none of that. Right now, the Senate is fighting back against doing anything for state employees and retirees. We need the governor to show some leadership and stand up for state employees. They're talking about having a $1 billion surplus this year, but yet they cannot provide a meaningful pay raise to state employees.
If you have made one phone call, if you've sent one email, certainly if you've come down to Raleigh to lobby your legislators directly, if you've seen a legislator back home in the district, in a store or a restaurant, and you've mentioned state employees or retirees or their issues, we thank you more than you know, because again, you really do make the difference. You made the difference on a lot of things this year. We didn't see things the way we want. But we wouldn't have seen things even to that level without you, and we certainly would have seen some bad things
And
happen.
it was a joint effort to keep the bad things from happening, and we have you to thank for that, because you did reach out to the legislators when we asked you to.
And thanks to those of you who pipe up on social media and talk to your coworkers and explain the things that SEANC does, because so many times there are things that are happening over there that there are other things besides your pay raise that we're taking care of, and sometimes we've got to have the effort from you guys to help us with that, and you come through for us every single time. So thank you.